Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing really well. Today's video is going to be the Thrilling Thriller book tag. So basically it's another Booktube tag that's all about thrillers, and as thrillers are probably one of my favourite genres, I thought it would be really good to give it a go. The person that originally did this video was Nicole from A Beautiful Chaos of Books, so I'll put all of that information in the description below. So, as there are I think 8 questions, I think we should crack on. So the first question is, what was the last thriller you bought? That would be My Sister the Serial Killer by Ian Braithwaite. Really enjoyed this. Obviously it's really popular, done really well this year. So yeah, if you want to read a thriller from a very different perspective and an amazing female voice, then give this a go because it's really good fun. The second question is, show us the thriller you most recently added to your to be read. So actually the thriller I most recently added to my to be read was not one that I bought, but one that I traded my own book for. So I recently took part in a book fair in my hometown, and there was an author there called Charlie Gallagher, who's really well known in my local area, and we traded books. So I gave him mine and he gave me his, and this is He Is Watching You. And I have actually started it, so I'm not sure it technically counts as on my still to be read, but I am currently reading it, so I think it counts, and I'm really enjoying it so far. I will update you when I've finished it. The third question is, what thriller did you have high expectations for but ultimately let you down? I have mentioned this book before on this channel in one of my very first videos, because it was recommended to me by so many people, and so many people that know what I like to read too. And I just did not get on with it at all, even though it's done so well and the author is very well known and doing very well for herself. I'm very happy for her, but didn't do it for me at all. That is Shari Lapina's The Couple Next Door. I thought the concept was weak. I thought the writing was slightly juvenile. I've said it before, I'll say it again, some of the sentences were too short, and that's kind of a weird thing to say because you want like long sentences broken up by shorter ones and then really short ones to kind of like make it feel lyrical and like you've got the waxing and the waning in the writing. But this was literally, some of it could have been bullet pointed. It's just, it didn't do it for me. I didn't actually finish it. I'm definitely a person that just doesn't finish books if I don't enjoy them, and this was unfortunately one of them. Number 4 is, what tropes do you love and hate in thriller books? Tropes are an interesting one, and one that I would probably like to talk about more on this channel. But actually in thrillers, I don't think that there are too many tropes that I feel incredibly passionate about either way. I suppose actually one trope that I do really enjoy reading is an unreliable narrator. I also enjoy writing an unreliable narrator, and I think for thriller and horror as well, I think that really adds something to the genre. So I suppose that's definitely one. One that I don't like so much, just characters doing stupid stuff. I think it sits more in horror really than thriller, but it's kind of a bit of both. Just characters doing unjustifiably stupid things to drive the plot forward. I don't like that. Unless it's there to like really make a statement, like if it's a comedy, like comedy, thriller, horror kind of thing going on, which is quite rare, then yeah, maybe that would work, but in a normal thriller or horror, I'm just not into that. The next question, the next one is a weird one, so it's not really a question. So it says, pick 3 thrillers from your shelves. You need to pick 2 you have read and 1 you haven't read, and then you guys need to comment in the comments which one you think I haven't read. I've already got them on the floor because it would have been really awkward otherwise. Here are the 3. I've got Scrublands by Chris Hammer. I've got Force of Nature by Jane Harper. And I've got The Silkworm by Robert Galbraith. As you can see, I love a hardback. So yeah, comment down below which one you think I have not read. Definitely just realised I've answered these in the wrong order. Never mind. So that question should have been, we'll swap them around, is recommend an underrated thriller. I'm not sure that I really know any very underrated thrillers. But one that I personally really enjoy and you don't hear much about anymore is The Killer Inside Me by Jim Thompson. I think the problem with most things that I read is a lot of the time they sit between genres, so I think that this is a thriller, and I would classify it as a thriller, but there's definitely very strong horror elements in it too. So essentially it is about a serial killer, and he is the narrator, he's the main character, and he's very unreliable, and yeah, it's basically just about how he falls apart and becomes a serial killer, and how he does it and how he justifies it, and you're in his head the entire time, and I think it's really cool, and I really enjoyed it, and I would definitely recommend it. Okay, number 7 is people are often intimidated by the thriller genre. Recommend a thriller for beginners. I would actually recommend The Chalk Man by C.J. Tudor. It's pretty gory, so if you're not into gore, probably not for you. But this is one of my favourites as well. It's one of my favourite thrillers, and it's really creepy, and it just gets you from the first page. You're just like fully in the book. I like this as well because it's not, again, the issue with everything I read, it's not straight up thriller. There's elements of horror, a little bit of supernatural stuff going on. And yeah, I just think it's got so much depth. The characters are incredibly deep, and I just really enjoyed it, and I would definitely recommend this one. Number 8 is, what is your all-time... Ooh, my books fell over. What is your all-time favourite thriller? I don't have this to hand because I couldn't find it. It's in the flat somewhere. But again, I classify this as a thriller. Some people might say it's a horror. It's definitely a psychological thriller. I would say Misery by Stephen King. I've mentioned this in videos before. I think Stephen King is really hit and miss for me personally. I would say maybe 1 in 3 things he releases I really enjoy, and the others fall a bit flat. I think quite often he'll start with a really strong concept and it just kind of wavers towards the end, and it's not as strong an ending as it could be. But Misery for me, 100%. Really cool book. Even the film is good, which is always a good sign. Yeah, so I'd say Misery is probably my favourite thriller of all time. It also very heavily influenced number 47, which is the book I released in July, which is also a thriller. Just had to like slip that in there, considering this was about thrillers. So yeah, that would be my favourite thriller. Then the question 9 is not really a question, it's just tag some fellow thriller lovers. I'm not sure that I actually really know any people that particularly love thrillers. I've kind of found on YouTube that a lot of people like fantasy and a lot of people like YA. Neither of those things really sit in the kind of spheres of things that I'm into, so I need to find some thriller lovers. So yeah, if you're watching this and you are a booktuber and you like a thriller, feel free. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did enjoy it, please do hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you next week for another video.